Elsa is a terrible character in every way. She's not amazing. She's not even painfully average. Elsa is awful.
But I like that thing. I like that thing. I like that thing. You know, there are people who exist that like that thing. We will not be silenced. I like that thing. I like that thing.
Hey, hello, how do you do? Shady Doorags here. Now, I know what you're thinking. Not you, Shady. You're supposed to review adult animation. Don't talk about Frozen. Well, tough tinky toenails.
I'm gonna talk about Frozen.
Frozen is an okay movie. I don't think it's a masterpiece or anything. In fact, there was a time where I hated the movie. But I think at this point in time, I can say that it's decent and enjoyable. It certainly isn't flawless, mind you. You have the awful parents, Hans, the magic that's never explained, Hans, a lot of people have a problem with the trolls, Hans, and Hans. Frozen, upon release, was way overhyped, and in hindsight, it isn't even that good when comparing it to the likes of other Disney juggernauts like Aladdin, Beauty and the Beast, or The Lion King. But despite how much I have and will complain about this movie, there was one thing I always appreciated about Frozen: Elsa. And no, it wasn't because of Let It Go. Elsa is essentially a victim of trauma. She's so afraid of repeating a mistake that almost got her sister killed, she takes all preventive measures to make sure it never happens again. Could you say fear of failure? Not helping are her idiotic parents raising her to be afraid of her powers instead of embracing them. Elsa is one of the rare Disney princesses that isn't suffering because of her own entitlement. I don't even like calling her a princess. She rightly deserves the title of queen, as she shows a much more mature and dignified personality than the other princesses before her. The only one I can think that matches that level of maturity is Tiana. Despite Elsa making all the wrong choices in the movie, I 100% understand where she's coming from in making those decisions. Also, she has ice powers, and those are pretty cool. Basically what I'm saying is that I really like and appreciate what this character had to offer. She's my favorite thing about this movie. So you can imagine my disdain when I came across this little video made by Schaffrillas. What on earth is that word? Shiny Productions. Wait, no, disdain is the wrong word. I was actually excited for this video when I stumbled across it. I enjoy hearing the criticism of things I like and praise of things I don't like, getting everyone's perspective and all that. Savage Books made a video about why Mr. Peanut Butter was done really well in Season 5, and I found it extremely enjoyable, despite how much I complained about how he was treated in said season. But a video disagreeing with me does have to make sense, or I rage just like everyone else on the internet. Needless to say, this video was one that made me salty.
Elsa is a terrible character in every way.
Really salty.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to burst the bubble of the 5-year-olds who like dressing up as her because of her cool ice powers and fun song or whatever. But I take pleasure in bursting the bubble of grown adults who somehow think she's an amazing character.
You want to come over here and say that to my masculine face, you chump?
She's not amazing. She's not even painfully average. Elsa is awful.
It was here that I began to raise an eyebrow. Elsa, to me, is objectively the best character in the movie. Well, she is tied with Anna in that regard, but I like Elsa more due to relating to her. Then I thought, maybe Shady Productions isn't saying she's objectively bad. Maybe he's saying he just doesn't like her. That's something I'm not a stranger to. But no, he is talking objectively, or at least he's trying to.
Like, really think about this. Elsa as a character does not hold up when you compare her personality to some of the other princesses.
Because she was giving off more of a queen vibe. She had more responsibilities and a more adult mentality than the young people of the other movies. This was made to foil Anna, who was more childlike. The only princess Elsa is more comparable to in this regard is Tiana. And admittedly, yeah, Tiana wins hands down in the personality department, but at least then it's a fair fight.
Take a look at Ariel. What's her personality?
A brat?
Well, she's young and naive and boy crazy. She won't take no for an answer, and she's willing to do whatever it takes to get what she wants.
That's a brat.
Anna even has a distinct personality. She's quirky and naive and sheltered, willing to open her heart to anyone. What about Elsa? She has ice powers, and she's serious, and I don't know.
You say serious like that doesn't help define her personality. I could look at Anna in the same light and say, she's quirky, and it would have the same meaning. Shady Productions is right about Anna and what makes her interesting. But what perplexes me is how he fails to see what the movie made really clear. Everything Anna is, Elsa isn't. They're meant to foil each other. Where Anna thinks love is an open door and wants to let everyone in, Elsa keeps her door shut and lets no one in. Where Anna can't enter a room properly, Elsa does so with dignity and grace. Where Anna spews nonsense out of her mouth, Elsa knows exactly what to say and how to say it. Their behavior makes each other more interesting, and usually when this is done in storytelling, the funny man is much more enjoyable than the straight man. But the straight man is still important. Elsa makes Anna much better than she would be on her own. This was also done to show that the differences in their upbringing brought out drastic changes to their personalities. Anna was sheltered but ignored, which is why she's so open to let people in. Elsa was also sheltered but coddled. She was taught to fear going into the world because of the damage she could do to it and it could do to her. She fears the dangers of letting someone in as well as someone letting her in because of how dangerous she is. She doesn't understand the longing that Anna has because she's worried about bigger priorities. Yeah, sis, I do want to build a snowman, but I can't because you might die. I get that this hurts your feelings, but at least you have feelings to hurt. I'm not allowed to feel squat or I turn my whole room into Jack Frost's playground.
Oh wait, she's free and she lets it go and she's liberated and empowered. I know this because of Let It Go.
What? No. Okay, I've never heard anyone say this, but I don't have a problem believing that many people have told Shiny Productions this. Frozen is misunderstood in a lot of ways, some of which he'll go into later in this video. So I understand his frustration. I'm just going to say to the other people watching this, Let It Go should not define Elsa, and if you're judging her character solely on that, you're missing a lot of what she offers to the story.
Until you realize that Let It Go is all that Elsa has. Can you name a single character trait that comes out of Elsa outside of this song?
Well, there's one character trait that exists exclusively outside this song, and it's that she's desperately afraid of herself. Yeah, Let It Go was a brief moment in Elsa's life where she stopped being afraid of what she was capable of doing. Throughout the rest of her life and the rest of the movie, she is deathly afraid of unleashing her powers and what she's capable of. But if you want to ignore that one little thing, we also get that Elsa is reserved. She knows how to handle diplomatic situations, and she doesn't believe in marrying someone you just met. Again, she's Anna's foil. There are many scenes where the actions and thoughts of Elsa are explicitly shown to be the opposite of Anna's. Both The First Time in Forever and its reprise show this in strides. There is no reason for someone reviewing this movie to not notice this.
Can you quote a single line of dialogue? Yeah, it's pretty hard.
He said, while showing one of her most famous quotes.
Fine. You can't marry a man you just met.
There's also, go away, Anna, conceal, don't feel. Just take care of my sister. This is an edited recording, so you'll have to take my word for it when I say I did not look those up. I just thought of Elsa's scenes off the top of my head while writing this script.
That's because Elsa is not a character. She is the dress, the hair, and the song. That's it.
Now, in Shiny Productions' defense, this is what most people think of when they see Elsa, and it is why she's so popular. Most people don't see the character. They just see the dress, the hair, the song. However, the character is there. You don't even need to look hard to find it. You just need to keep looking beyond the song.
This movie features, in my opinion, one of the most fleshed out Disney princesses ever. Maybe the most fleshed out. Anna's funny, she's interesting, she's quotable, and she goes through a dynamic character arc over the course of the movie. She's right there, and yet the media and the fans pour all their focus and praise into this bland piece of frozen bread. What is there to praise here?
Anna being the better quote-unquote developed character is not because Elsa has no development, but because Anna's development was what Disney decided to prioritize in terms of pacing. And to answer your question, Disney is not promoting Elsa because she's the better character or even because she's a good character. They're promoting her because she's the cool character, the marketable character. She's the one with the powers, the one with the hit single. Like you said, the dress, the hair, the song. Yes, that means Disney is promoting the more superficial things about Elsa, but it does not mean that's all there is to Elsa.
How is she a good character? She runs away from all her responsibilities and refuses to even try to make things right with her people or the only family she has left.
This is where I started to get angry at what was being said, because this perspective here is completely biased. Elsa runs away from all her responsibilities? No! She had responsibilities and was willing to take them up, but then she unleashed her powers. Powers, she's believed her whole life that if she unleashed them, they would be a danger to everyone around her, including Anna, the person she cares about the most. If you're told, hey, there's a bomb on you that will kill everyone around you and it's about to go off, it would make sense that you would run away as fast as you can. Yes, in hindsight, we know it would have been better for Elsa to stay in Arendelle and simply face the problem, but that isn't the mentality Elsa has in the moment. All she knows is that the thing that almost got her sister killed and supposedly would get everyone else killed has been unleashed. She thinks getting away from everyone will save them. She has no idea at this point that she's causing an eternal winter. But I know what you're thinking. Well, when Anna told her she was causing an eternal winter, why didn't she go back then? Because of this.
We'll reverse the storm you've made. Please, you'll only make it worse.
She's afraid of failing. She's afraid going back to try and fix things will just make everything worse. And again, she thinks she's going to kill everyone. Most likely, Elsa also fled for her own safety. The trolls told her that fear was her enemy and then showed a crowd of people attacking her. That could be interpreted as other people fearing you will be your enemy. This is another fear that is justified in the movie when the Weaseltown guards come to her castle and try to murder her, either from protecting herself or protecting others. It makes sense that Elsa would flee from the kingdom after her powers were unleashed. Yes, she is abandoning her responsibility as queen, but it's because she's prioritizing life, whether it be her own, her sister's, or everyone in the kingdoms.
Let It Go is great musically, but its popularity is almost a detriment to the story and the character. No, we shouldn't be happy that Elsa is abandoning her sister and continues to do so.
I agree, but again, that doesn't mean you can't look past the song and see Elsa for who she really is.
Nice going, your sister is probably marrying evil sideburn guy and throwing the kingdom into chaos. Do you even care?
She didn't know Hans was evil. No one did, not even Hans. And she believes that if she goes back down, people will die. Her staying up in the mountains seems like a much better deal.
Maybe I should start from the beginning. It's clear that Elsa was traumatized at a young age out of fear of what her powers could do to people, and she was definitely raised wrong as a result.
If you know this, why are you ignoring this factor?
I understand the need to keep Elsa's powers a secret from Anna as they're growing up, and so I understand the need to keep the two separate. But once the parents are dead and Anna is basically an adult, why can't we tell her about the powers exactly? There's no higher authority here. Elsa is withholding this information from her adult sister for literally no reason.
You literally just said.
It's clear that Elsa was traumatized at a young age out of fear of what her powers could do to people, and she was definitely raised wrong as a result.
So why is this so confusing?
Is she withholding this information because that's what her parents would have wanted? I find that hard to believe. I don't think they seriously intended to keep this a secret from adult Anna.
You don't show any evidence to support this belief. You just go with it. Elsa and Anna's parents, with what little screen time they had, were incredibly incompetent. There's no reason to think that they would want Elsa to ever reveal the secret to Anna, except the notion of, that's what you would have done. They specifically say in the movie to keep everything a secret until Elsa learns to control her powers, which she hasn't yet.
She can learn to control it, I'm sure. Until then, we'll lock the gates and keep her powers hidden from everyone, including Anna.
And even if they would have wanted Elsa to eventually tell Anna, they gave no sign of that to Elsa. Elsa was following her parents' guidelines to a T to protect Anna and everyone in the kingdom. She has no reason to think revealing herself to Anna would make things better, only worse.
This leads to their big blowout at the party, where Anna asks, "What did I ever do to you?" This is a moment of serious emotional vulnerability coming from someone who's felt rejected and lonely for her entire life.
Are you not paying attention to the other person in this scene? Sorry, got a little upset there. But good gravy does this part of the video take me off. This moment in the movie is not just about Anna. Look at Elsa's face. She is emoting hard, something she's not allowed to do. Anna has taken her glove, the thing meant to protect others from her. Elsa is afraid and is in just as much emotional disarray as Anna, and the only thing Shiny Productions can say is, poor Anna.
And then we get this exchange.
I can't live like this anymore. Then leave.
No rational person would ever say this.
Because Elsa is not rational. She was traumatized to never let herself get close to anyone. Why can you so easily see Anna's emotional turmoil, but you completely ignore Elsa's? Do you think she wants to treat Anna like this? She's doing all of this so she doesn't accidentally kill her sister, and so people don't want to kill her. Trying to do that for years has made it so she won't open up to anyone. And let's not forget, Anna threw this hissy fit because Elsa justifiably would not approve of her spontaneous marriage. Would a rational person marry someone they just met and then insist other people agree to it?
Now is the time when you tell her what the problem is. It could have been such a simple fix too. Elsa could have said, Anna, I need to talk to you in private, or you and Hans, whatever. They go to a private room. She shows her ice powers and explains that that's why they've been distant all these years. Then the Duke of Weaseltown comes in, thinks he sees witchcraft, drags her out and tries to expose her, which is when her ice powers accidentally get shown to everyone. And the story continues as normal.
No, you can't be serious. That's your simple fix? Okay, let's break down everything that's wrong with this and strap in your seatbelts because it's a lot. First problem, Elsa did try to talk to Anna privately. Not about her powers, mind you, but she tried to have a private conversation, to which Anna stubbornly insisted Hans be there.
May I talk to you, please? Alone?
No. Whatever you have to say, you can say to both of us.
Okay, so she should just go to a private room and tell them both the secret. Except, remember that famous quote?
You can't marry a man you just met.
If Elsa believes that, why on earth would she tell a man she just met her deepest, darkest secret? To make sure Anna's feelings aren't hurt? Yeah, that's worth risking this complete stranger running off and telling other people. Also, you want Elsa to use her powers in front of Anna. Elsa thinks her powers will hurt those around her, especially Anna. Why on earth would she use the thing that might kill Anna in front of Anna? And finally, Elsa does not have full control of her powers. Yes, she did when she was little. Yes, she will at the end of the movie. But currently, all she's been doing is hiding from them. For all she knows, a small demonstration could easily lead to a catastrophic result. Recall the next time these two meet, she will accidentally freeze Anna's heart. Why would she risk any of that when she can simply, as the queen, order everyone to leave and tell Anna to suck it up? Alright, I forgot to make Anna feel better, because Anna is the only thing that matters in this scene.
However, there is another angle to consider this character from. People don't always act rationally when suffering from anxiety and depression, which Elsa seems to be, even though it's never explicit.
I don't know if Elsa is depressed. All I know is that she's traumatized and was raised to fear her powers. All her actions make complete sense when you take that into account. Like Shiny Productions says, the movie doesn't go into any great lengths to demonstrate depression, so I feel it's a moot point. The movie does work on a metaphorical level for depression, but not a literal one. Elsa's arc isn't about depression, it's about fear.
If we view this character through the lens of depression, then the way the story is set up actually does kind of work. She doesn't want to involve Anna since she already considered herself a burden to her parents, and she doesn't want to place that on her younger sister, of all people.
No! She was trying to protect Anna. This is made very clear in the movie.
Just stay away and you'll be safe from me.
You've concluded depression, and thus are applying depression logic, despite the movie saying very much otherwise.
But is further isolation from society really what Elsa needs? Is having nobody in her life to confide in going to finally make her happy? As far as the movie is concerned, yes. Because Elsa does so while singing Let It Go. Really think about the implications of this song being so triumphant and empowering. It's sending a message to little kids that seeking emotional reconciliations with the people you love is bad. You should just run away from those who care about you. It's fine.
Okay, first off, this whole section of the video is working under the premise that Elsa has depression and that is the focus of her character, which I completely disagree with. Elsa's arc was about not letting fear control you and letting love in. Second, remember Hakuna Matata? Remember how lighthearted it was and how it was telling Simba to have no worries for the rest of his days? Do you think that was the message of The Lion King? I know that's not what you think, because later in this video, you praise The Lion King for its message about grief. Hakuna Matata was the opposite of what Simba was supposed to do, and the movie explicitly says this. Just because the song is happy and catchy and was even arguably more popular than Let It Go doesn't mean it defines Simba's entire character. Let It Go is the exact same thing. Yes, what Elsa is doing in this scene is bad, but it feels good. She's been bottling herself up for years, and instead of going back and letting people in, she's going to let herself free and be isolated. That's why the song is cheerful, because it's reflecting how Elsa feels in the moment despite it being the wrong thing to do. You complain about everyone else only judging Elsa by this song, yet that's exactly what you're doing.
Except in The Lion King, there's a key moment where Simba is confronted with his actions and responsibilities. Elsa didn't learn. Her big moment where she decides to return to her kingdom and responsibilities never comes.
The difference between Elsa and Simba in this regard is that Elsa had to be shown what she was doing was wrong, while Simba had to be told. Neither learned the lesson on their own. Sure, Simba was still feeling guilty about what he had done as a child and not going back. But Elsa was still afraid and has a moment, just like Simba, where her emotions are shown to be growing. And I'm gonna end it there, guys. The video goes on for much more, but it's mainly talking about how Elsa's depression arc was done incorrectly, and since I've made it clear that she wasn't going through a depression arc, I'd just be repeating myself. It's not that big of a deal if people like or dislike a character, but misrepresenting them is when I start to speak up. This video would have been more accurate if it focused on how Elsa's general fan base misrepresents her, which Shady Productions does go into, but then he himself misrepresents her. Elsa is a pretty great character when she's analyzed in full. She's traumatized by one mistake that almost got her sister killed. Ever since she was a child, she's been taught lessons that limit herself in hopes that she won't hurt anyone nor be discovered. As a result, she's someone who chooses to be both physically and emotionally distant, and will outcast people away from her for their own safety. She is afraid that if anyone gets close to her, especially when she doesn't have full control of her powers, they will get hurt or discover what she can do and try to hurt her. And her fears are justified when Anna's heart gets frozen, as well as when the guards pursue her. How does Shiny Productions not see any real emotion when Hans tries to talk Elsa out of killing the guards, or when she hears Anna died, or when Anna becomes completely frozen right in front of her? We watch this woman's greatest fears come to life right before her eyes, and she has the appropriate responses to what's happening. Elsa's arc throughout the movie is meant to foil Anna's. Anna learns that while love is indeed an open door, you can't just allow anyone to go through it. You have to be careful about who you let inside. Elsa already knows that, but she's taken it to the other extreme, where she keeps the door shut entirely. She lets fear rule her. Her lesson is to open the door for those who have shown they care about her. I know most people don't like the Rock Troll song because it's a bit of a waste of time, but it was telling Anna the key to helping Elsa grow as a person.
People make bad choices if they're mad or scared or stressed. But throw a little love their way. You'll bring out their best. True love brings out the best.
To say that Elsa doesn't have a character is to ignore everything that was put into her, including Anna herself. I don't think it's fair to label her character as non-existent with all the things one could explore when simply watching the movie. Is she misrepresented through the media and through her fan base? Sure, but she's not a badly written character. But if you leave this video with anything, leave with this. Shiny Productions has more subscribers than me, and I only made this because I'm jealous.